In a world where beloved intellectual properties are forced to be alone and kept separate from one another against their will, two men intend to break them free of this oppressive regime and bring these franchises together through the medium of crossover fanfiction. This is Crossover Quest!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 10, the fifth and final episode of Crossover Quest.
Very good, that's funny.
Sorry. Can I do that though?
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with that.
Let's use that then.
Okay, cool.
So again, welcome. Thank you for tuning in again. This is episode 10, this is the last in the present series, and possibly the last ever. I'm William, and I'm with Ali, as usual.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I'm with William.
As usual. So, last episode.
Yeah.
Possibly the last ever episode.
No, it won't be, man. We're
Possibly.
good. No, it won't be, because I've written more stories than I'm not.
Yeah, but it's in my hands. If I decide to fucking bail, it's possibly over. You could always.
Good point, yeah.
So it's possibly the last episode, but probably not. So thanks for listening, and season 2 is coming soon. Bye. What are we doing this week, Ali?
This week it's Batman and Buffy. That's two of your favourites, yeah?
I like Batman, not so keen on Buffy.
So if I was to ask you...
This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I should have said Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You should have said that.
Batman, the animated series, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Has it got to be the animated series?
No, it doesn't. I just said... I don't know, because the comics aren't called Batman the comics. They're just called Batman. And the movies tend to just... Well, there's just Batman.
The Batman movies.
Batman. They're all called... Only one of them is called Batman, actually.
So the Batman franchise and the Buffy the Vampire Slayer franchise?
Are we including the old movie? Was there an old movie?
There's comics and the video game. No, it wasn't her.
No, I just thought because they had a movie for that as well, didn't they?
Oh, no, there was a movie, a while ago.
Yeah, with different actors.
It has like Luke Perry in it and stuff.
Cool.
So, if you can remember that, then by all means include it in your story. I can't.
So which do you prefer, Batman or Buffy?
Batman. I said that already. Totally prefer Batman. Don't like Buffy very much. Never did. But I like Batman. Yeah, big Batman fan. Not really a big Batman fan, but I like Batman.
Right, okay, I'm going to level with you here, right?
You don't like Batman, do you?
It's not that I don't like Batman. I like Batman fine. I'll watch the stuff, but I don't get why so many people are so nuts about it.
Because he's so cool, Ali. He's just cool.
What's cool about him?
Well, he's dark. He's like Iron Man, but dark and cool.
You can't see how much I'm rolling my eyes at that.
I can.
Well, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to a listener.
The readers can't see, but I can. Yeah, he's rolling his eyes a lot, readers. No, Batman's just cool. He's got cool gadgets. He fights crime. He's altruistic. He's a billionaire playboy. Everything about him. He's a wee bit boring like Superman. He's not got as much personality as Marvel superheroes, but he's
and
cool.
Another thing I always hear is, right, oh, Superman's boring because he's a Superman. He'll beat everyone. He's indestructible, yeah? But then I always keep hearing, oh, Batman can beat Superman. So why is Batman not boring?
Batman's like the only person that can beat Superman.
Well, how does that not make him boring then?
Well, because he can't beat anyone. He can't
just be Superman.
Well, yeah, because he's darker than Superman. Superman's a good guy, so he won't go to the lengths that Batman will go to. Batman's infinitely smarter than Superman, even though Superman's supposed to have like this atomic brain that's the smartest ever. But Batman's just more cunning. He's more cunning than Superman.
I see.
Yeah, so he can defeat him.
I don't want to get jumped on by everyone, so I don't dislike Batman. I like the films. I've read some of the comics.
I don't like the 60s series, which is blasphemy. Every Batman fan seems to love it, but I don't like it.
I enjoyed it. It's campy and fun.
It's stupid.
I wouldn't sit and watch it like back to back, but
would I.
I like the kind of look of it and stuff.
I would watch it front to front and don't like it.
And then Buffy. Well, do you want to talk about Batman a bit more? You know it quite well.
No, we can move on to Buffy if you like. I just want to make it clear that I do like Batman quite a bit.
Well, what do you like? What other characters? People say about Batman the villains are more interesting.
Okay, we're going to skip Buffy then, or just continue with Batman for a bit. Yeah, the villains are awesome. I have my favourite villains. Joker's not his main villain, it's Ra's al Ghul.
Is it though?
Kind of is, yeah.
Is it though?
It kind of is, man.
If you ask a million people,
I know, but in the comics, I used to read the comics, it is Ra's al Ghul. My favourite.
Isn't it Ra's al Ghul?
Well, it's just different ways. I think it's Raish these days, Raish.
What was it in the movie, that last one, Batman?
Like Batman Sean Connery declaring a race war.
Batman... What was it, Batman...
Begins?
That
was Liam Neeson played him. Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah. But what was he called in that?
Ra's al Ghul? I don't know, I can't remember.
Because that's like the most recent...
Rafe Fiennes.
Unless he's in as an animated series, Batman Brave and the Bold, what was that?
That was just a cool cut. He was in that, I'm sure. But he would appear. Everyone else was in that. Yeah, that was a good cartoon. No, my favourite Batman villain is the Scarface, the ventriloquist puppet.
Ventriloquist puppy's pretty cool.
Ventriloquist dummy. He is the most terrifying Batman villain, and I love him. Do you have a favourite Batman villain?
The Joker, I guess. I know the
fair
Joker.
enough. So Buffy, you talk about Buffy because you know about it.
What do you know about Buffy?
It was on after the
So were
Simpsons.
you a bit too old for it when it was out?
Kinda. I like the theme tune, and I watched a few.
What was the theme?
It's like the Offspring.
Yeah, you kept saying, Slash did it, you kept saying, no, it was Sabrina Teenage Witch.
No, it was like something from the Offspring.
Remember every time Sabrina Teenage Witch would come on, you'd say, Slash did the music.
Yeah, I know. I know it did. I didn't really like it, man. It was just a bit shit.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't watch it again, but Joss Whedon stuff's kind of like sacrosanct. You can't say anything about it.
Yeah, he does good work now, but I wasn't a fan of Buffy.
I loved it at the time.
Did you?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it, but I didn't even stick with it for a whole series. I watched it was on channel BBC 2
after The Simpsons.
Yeah, and then I watched it was on later at night and it was uncut, and I don't think they cut that much, but it was on at 11 o'clock at night or something. But anyway, I watched it I don't know, maybe how many episodes were in the first series? 24, say. I watched 16 of them and then kind of lost interest. So, then I caught it 3 years later a couple of times and stuff. And I don't fucking know what happens in it though.
Yeah. I'm not interested.
Giles was a lesbian in the end or something like that. That's what happened.
I think Willow was a lesbian. And
someone was a lesbian.
That's something I know. Willow was in it, and Giles, and there's a boy in it called Xander.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Seth Green was in it till years later, so I didn't see that.
He was
part.
a werewolf. Or maybe I saw more of it than I realised. Was he a werewolf? He might not have been.
I had no idea.
Else.
I had no idea.
Maybe he was in a remake of Teen Wolf or something, or Big Wolf on Campus. Do you remember that?
I remember Teen Wolf. Brilliant. So yeah, you now get the skinny on the two projects that we're going to be working on. So
yes, we've written stories
as usual.
They cross over those two franchises we just talked about, Batman and Buffy.
Yep.
Do you want to go first?
No, it's okay, man. Let's keep the tradition. Let you go first.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this. Are you ready for my story? It's about Batman and Buffy.
And it's called?
Batman and Buffy.
Nice.
The Legend of the Batman Cove.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
It's like a story Bo would make up.
I'm not as good at making shit up on the spot as you.
Oh yeah. I don't know how you would know that.
Deep in a perpetually dark alley, in the perpetual night of Gotham City, a wise guy was shaking down a rube. "Give me all your money," said the wise guy, holding a knife to the rube's throat. "I swear it, mister, I don't have no money." "Wise guy, eh?" said the wise guy. "What do you think I am, some kind of rube?" he asked the rube. No, sir, I just got off the bus from Willikers Creek not 20 minutes ago, and I've been shook down near 4 times before you got to me. I ain't got a penny left." "Well then, looks like you're going to have to pay in blood." The criminal raised his hand and stabbed at the victim. Then he raised the hand he was holding the knife in and stabbed with that hand.
That's nice.
Moments before the knife made contact, something knocked it from the criminal's hand. He looked over to see what it was. It had landed near the bins. The rube used this opportunity to escape, and was well into his 5th mugging. The criminal walked over and leaned into the darkness to get a good look. He could make out the basic shape. A bird? A bird-orang? He asked himself, shook his head, and leaned in for a closer inspection. Oh, a batarang. Oh shit! Suddenly, Batman landed inches from his face. "Were you looking at my bird-orang?" asked Batman menacingly. "Oh shit, Batman." The criminal trembled with fear. "Please don't melt all my skin off with your acid breath." "I might just melt all your skin off with my acid breath," threatened Batman. "Why were you looking at my batarang?" I was just fooling, Batman. I didn't mean no harm." Wait, did you say birdarang last time?" "Are you telling Batman how to talk?" Batman gripped up a bunch of the criminal's neck. "Ah, don't," cried the criminal. "That's my neck. I need that for..." "I've said too much. Need it for what? Gobbling down dicks?" Batman fought the urge to break character and talk to the criminal about how quick and funny his quip was. He was really proud of himself. He did come up with it really fast. Yeah, that's it. I need it for dicks," said the criminal unconvincingly. Batman tightened his grip further. "Why must you turn my office into a house of lies?" asked Batman. Man, sweet Simpsons reference too. Why can't I be this good when I'm with the Joker, he thought to himself. "Alright, I'll tell you," cried the crim boy. "Just don't tear all my skin off with your claw hand. I need my neck for my masters to feast from." "Why must you turn my office into a house of lies?" asked Batman again, shaking his head like halfway into it in embarrassment for repeating the quote so soon. But at least the Joker wasn't around to see him mess up so badly. I'm not lying. I work for vampires," spluttered the panicked henchman. "You work for vampires? As in, you get paid in vampires? The hell kind of wage is that?" It doesn't quite make up for the awful and originality of his last line, but it's a start. "Please, Batman, I'm only 15. Please don't kill me," pleaded the vampire, who was, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this, at least 46 years old. "Where can I find your vampire masters?" asked Batman. The criminal was about to spill his beans when a vampire orang suddenly flew through the air and took his head clean off. Batman looked up to where it had come from, whilst posing heroically, but nobody was there. There's only one person who can help me find vampires, said Batman to himself, but she retired years ago. It'll take some convincing. Some children were playing in a park near an old Gothic mansion. Some say the mansion was haunted. Others say the children was haunted. Jimmy threw a frisbee to Billy, but it went off course and flew over the mansion's fence. It was a perfectly good throw, but that's what you get when you play with a haunted frisbee. That's right, it was the frisbee that was haunted all along. Bye! Cried Billy obnoxiously, signalling that Jimmy should go and collect the frisbee. What, are you going home, Billy?
I hated kids that did that at school. Such dicks.
What, are you going home, Billy? No, go and get the frisbee. No way, that's old man Buffy's place. I heard a witch lived there. How dare you, came the voice of a Batman-esque guy. You shut your whore mouth or my name isn't Bruce Wayne. Wow, Bruce Wayne, said both the kids, both confusing Bruce Wayne for Bruce Lee, unfortunately. Do a cool spin kick, Bruce Wayne, cried Billy excitedly. Bruce misunderstood and thought Billy knew he was Batman because of all the cool spin kicks Batman was known for, whereas Bruce Wayne is only known for cool roundhouse kicks. If you tell anyone my secret, you little shits, said Bruce, his hands wrapped around the kids' throats, I'll tell everyone in your school your secrets. That I put on Jimmy's dad's socks sometimes, said Jimmy. Yes.
He called his own dad Jimmy's dad.
Yeah, that I put on Jimmy's dad's socks sometimes, said Jimmy. Yes, now get out of my way. Bruce made his way into the mansion. Hello? Called Bruce into the empty-ass mansion as he crept through its dusty halls. Yo, Buffy, where you at? He noticed an old wooden stake lying on the table and reached for it. Suddenly, a Buffy orang flew at his hand, embedding itself in the table next to the stake. Were you looking at my wooden stake? Asked Buffy. She was all haggard and beat up looking. Her matted hair covered her face, her stained clothes all saggy and awful. Jesus, Buff, what in the hell happened to you? Asked Bruce. Oh, come on, Bruce, fuck off, will ya? Said Buffy. Now, Buffy, don't be a bitch. There's a situation in Gotham that I need your help with. It's vampires, Buffy. What vampires? How many are there? Are they even committing crimes? You always do this, Bruce. Come asking for help when you don't even know there's an actual threat yet. Believe me, the threat is very much real. What is it then? I told you, vampires. But what are they doing? Bruce started to say stuff, but nothing came out. Buffy shook her head. Come back when you have something solid, Bruce, she said, and she led him out of the mansion. As she walked back through the mansion, a sly smile crept on her face. She started stripping off the old crap clothes. She peeled off her fingernails and finally slid her wig off, revealing a sexy 1998-looking Buffy. Jolly good show, Buffy, said Giles as he came out from hiding behind the curtains. Yeah, great prank. You got him good, said Willow as she came out from behind the couch. The way he had to pay for all his flights here, now back to Gotham, and all that wasted time, priceless, said Giles, between fits of laughter. I like how you threw a vampire orang at him, making him think it was vampires, but it wasn't, it was you, said Willow. Man, Xander would have loved this prank if he'd ever been born. The group of friends had a brief, silent moment of remembrance for their friend that had never existed, before heading out to the club to celebrate another great prank. 4 days later, Bruce Wayne arrived back at Buffy's mansion. Buffy, vampires have the mayor of Gotham City held prisoner, cried Bruce. Buffy, suffering a severe hangover, not from the club where they celebrated the prank, just another time she got drunk, said, Fuck off, Bruce, it was just a prank, don't be a dumb fuck. What are you talking about, prank? There are for real vampires wreaking havoc in Gotham. And it was true, so off they went to Gotham. They approached the vampire's secret lair. Wow, Buffy, you are good at finding secret lairs, said Batman. I just can't believe actual vampires attack Gotham. Mental. After killing a bunch of vampires with Batarangs, Buffy-orangs, and a couple of Alfred-orangs Batman happened to have on him, they opened the big doors that led to the Queen Vampire's throne. There she sat, her face all manky and covered in ridges like the vampires in Buffy had a tendency to have. You know what I mean? All ugly and grey and wrinkled up.
Yeah.
She raised her claw-like bony hand, pointed at Batman and Buffy, and released a hellish screech. The two timeless heroes thought it was a signal, and they'd have to fight more vampires, but nothing happened. Where are your cronies, you old crone? Demanded Batman. Probably resting after all the vagina rangs I threw their way, said Samantha from Sex and the City. I managed to fit each and every one of them in my big blue box, and I'm not talking about that time machine I stole. What? Asked the confused Buffy. I'm talking about my bruised up old swollen snatch, darling. Are you the vampire queen? Asked Batman. Queen vampire? Heavens no! I was just looking for some fun. I thought vampires might be good for a roll in the hay, but alas, they die too easily. You know, not one of them could even go one round of... Oh.
Go on,
I got myself with that one. You know, not one of them could even go one round of heart fucking with my big wooden strap on. They just kept bursting into blood or dust or whatever, so I just stuffed them all up me. Batman and Buffy just stood there. I guess we have to put a stop to you, said Batman. Samantha let out an ancient cackle. Darling, you're just Batman. You have no chance of stopping me. But I'll throw you a sympathy bone. Your plastic pecs are doing wonders for my dry patch. Before Batman could even respond, Samantha had launched himself at him. Her spider-like limbs wrapped around him as she dug her claws into his body and continuously smashed her pelvis into Batman's groin.
Oh my god.
His suit was the only thing protecting him from penetration, but he knew it was only a matter of time before the force of Samantha's thrust shattered it into smithereens. How do I break the shell and get to the nut? Slurred Samantha as she tightened her grip around Batman's body. I want to do you like I did that Xander kid. But Xander never existed, questioned Buffy. Samantha laughed. Not after what I did to him, darling. Buffy snapped, and in a fit of rage threw all of her Buffy-rangs at the hideous monster. Samantha grabbed one of her viscous-like titties and spun it round in front of her, while her legs clung on and grinded down to Batman's increasingly bloody genitals. The spinning titty shielded her from the Buffy-orang barrage as they ricocheted all around the room. But it wasn't just a room. They had entered the TARDIS Samantha had stolen from the Doctor, and all these Buffy-rangs flying around were likely to hit something important, and that's just what happened. One of the Buffy-rangs hit a lever, and the TARDIS started shaking and lighting the fuck up. A distracted Samantha released her grip and moved over to the bridge. Oh great, you've activated the time travel thing, said Samantha as she checked the ship's display. Buffy grabbed Batman and they got the fuck out of that mess. I can't seem to stop the countdown, said Samantha as she hit the console with her groin and dildoed herself with various gear sticks and levers. Nothing seems to be working. Fuck you, bitch. Your ass is going back to dinosaur times where you belong, said Buffy coolly. Samantha tilted her head and thought about it for a second. Then she remembered about brontosauruses and how big their dicks probably are, and was more than cool with the situation. The TARDIS shook about, made that crazy TARDIS sound, and finally vanished. And that's why there aren't any dinosaurs anymore. The end.
Oh, that was something else, man. And you explained the death of all the dinosaurs.
Again.
Oh yeah, you did that in the F-Zero one, didn't you?
Yeah, she's gone back to before that though, so...
Got you. Oh, that's awesome. That was a really good story. Very, very funny. Oh, fucking hell. I wonder if Samantha will make it into season 2. Well, what can I say? That was a very entertaining story. You actually used Buffy really well. The story kind of split the time between them really well. Batman was pretty hilarious. Samantha always welcome. I'm trying to think of anything like that doesn't hold up. But apart from the Xander thing, that's the only confusing element really.
Well,
if he never existed.
Yeah, Samantha fucked him out of existence. Wow. Well, not just out of existence. Fucked him out of ever existing. He never existed. She fucked him that hard, and she's like a hellish nightmare monster. Wow. She can do that shit. Yeah,
she is definitely hellish. Oh my god, you make her more hellish each time we see her. I think she'll become a fan favourite. I'm glad. I thought you didn't put Xander in just because you didn't like him.
Originally, I think that was kind of
I don't like him either. He probably won't be in my story. But yeah.
Speaking about your story,
what about it?
Every episode we've done, you've come out and you've said, "Oh, I've written a story," and I'm like, "Willie, did you write a story for this week's episode of Crossover Quest?"
Yeah.
I say, yeah, I wrote a story. Like, what's it about? Just like give me. No, it's about the franchises and the people there.
Why would I spoil it for them?
Well, fair enough, but I'm like, can you show me at least paper it's on, or on your phone just the words and scroll through it fast? So I can't see them.
Why do you need to see that when I'm producing a story each week?
Because I'm just like, I want to know if you've written or not. And frankly, I don't think you are writing them. I think you're just making them up on the spot.
That's a terrible time to bring that up. Terrible time to say that when I'm going to read my story right now.
I don't know, man.
Tell you what, let me read my story, okay? Just let me read it, as I always do, and listen to it carefully, and you tell me at the end if you think I came up with it on the spot or not, and you'll realise how ridiculous that assumption is.
Okay, let's see how much your story is just stuff that happened in my story.
You can't predict that sort of thing, Ali. You can't predict that sort of thing. It might happen, it might not.
Well, you always have these excuses like, oh, I write loads of permeations of how my story can go, and depending on how your story goes, I decide to go with
It's not
with
written
Simon
like a
Colony and
traditional
Simon
story.
Colby.
I'll accept it's not written in a traditional way. It would find it hard to follow if I let you see this, but I'm not spoiling it for you. So no, you just have to wait and see.
Alright, I'll listen to this story. I'll use this story
Okay.
to judge whether or not you've actually been writing these stories.
What about them is particularly not pre-written? Exactly.
I don't know. Somehow, like, instead of saying, are you having a nice day, Buffy? Said Batman. It's more like, oh, Batman was like, yeah, it's a nice day, Buffy, yeah? And Buffy's all like, yeah, Batman, it's great.
Yeah, because that's a really realistic thing Batman would say. I think you're not giving me enough credit. I go for the realism, not... And I cut the shit. I made a whole spiel about it a few weeks ago. I cut the shit, getting rid of all the chaff, all the moonlight glistened like a yellow... The yellow of an egg.
No, you're just like,
on the floor.
okay, the situation is, there's a moon, right?
Yeah, the moon's there. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know what the moon looks like. Oh, the moon. Look, there's the moon. It reminds me of this. Look at the floor. It reminds me of this. Look at that girl. She reminds me of this. That's what fucking literature is. I don't need to see that shit. Are we stupid? Seriously?
Okay, well...
He pulled on the door handle. It felt like this. He could smell the air. It reminded him of this. Everything... What? Just be in the moment. I'm in the moment. That's what you can say about my stories. They happen in the moment.
Yeah, because you're fucking making them up in the moment.
You know what? You give me far too much credit. That shit would be impossible.
You're doing it on the night.
I'm not doing it on the night. Jesus, man. That would be too hard. Shut up.
Let me just see you pick up your phone here, read from it, or your laptop there, or
got it here.
just a bit of paper or something.
Yep.
And see you.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me. That's not fair. You need to ease the pressure. This is the last story I'll be doing this season, or ever, if you keep this cheek up.
Okay, I'm going to judge this story. I'll use this story to find out whether or not...
Okay, thank you. Goodness sake.
Last chance, that's all I'm saying.
Sake, man. It's going on for ages. Give me a hard time. Right, okay. It was a boring Sunday evening. What?
You don't got a name. You normally have a name.
Yeah, well,
is that the name?
No. Very quick prologue, and then the title comes on. It's very cinematic.
Awesome. Okay,
then that's allowed. It doesn't mean I didn't write it.
Yeah.
It was a boring Sunday evening. Boring Sunday evening. Boring Sunday evening. That's what I've written. 3 times. So, full stop. I see you putting pressure on me to prove that I've written it. I feel like I'm reading a fucking telegram. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to read the punctuation, okay?
I'm going to
You can't make me do that. I'll start from the start.
Okay.
It was a boring Sunday evening. A boring Sunday evening. A boring Sunday evening. Batman wasn't up to much, particularly. He was sitting in his Batcave on his computer, doing some busy work. He was basically updating his virus scanner, which he obviously writes a code for himself, which he has plenty of time to do, obviously. And little things like downloading the odd torrent, and just really... He was on Facebook, I'm not going to lie. Bruce Wayne's got a Facebook page. Everybody knows that. He would have. He's quite a well-known celebrity. He's checking out Facebook and does some of his sleuthing on Facebook. But really, there was no crime fighting to be done. He wasn't really up to much. He got a little bit curious and thought to himself, this room is boring, like a Sunday school lesson. I think I'll go over to my filing cabinet, which has got all my cold cases, which are comforting, like my childhood was before my parents died. So he goes over to he's not good at metaphors, Batman, incidentally. He's not good at metaphors or similes or anything like that. He went over to the filing cabinet and touched it. It was cold, like jelly. See what I mean? He's not great. He's trying.
It was right out of the fridge.
Batman's trying, yeah, but it's not. You don't associate jelly. You associate its texture, not its temperature.
It's the exact temperature of jelly, though, and he's just that clinically minded.
Maybe
that he's like
greatest detective. Exactly. Yeah. He opened the filing cabinet and took out and went through his cold cases. And he decided he'd go for a fingerprint he could never crack because he got a new fingerprint scanner of Amazon. He's a really rich guy. He spends a lot of time by himself. It's just Amazon parcels every day. Fucking tech, DVDs, Blu-rays. Doesn't really watch that many Blu-rays and DVDs, but he just can't help himself. He's really rich. He just downloads them all the time. He's always buying stuff from Amazon, getting parcels. So he's got some new tech, and one of them's a fingerprint scanner, and it's quite a good one. It was like a lot of money and stuff. And of course, he buys it from Amazon, and then he retrofits it and completely rebuilds the software himself because he's got time to do that. He's got loads of time. He can do that, no problem. So he goes through the fingerprints and he's rifling through the files, and they feel kind of brittle on his skin. They do. They feel brittle on his skin like Tiger Balm does. So he pulls out a random one, and this is the weird thing because they're cold cases. They all have just question mark under the name. So there's the alphabeticalized isn't really much point to alphabeticalizing them. Takes one out and it's a fingerprint, and he goes, right, I'm going to look for this. The reason he had a problem with this particular fingerprint, he remembers this one really well. He remembers it like a cold.
That's a fingerprint.
Yeah, there's a fingerprint file, a fingerprint that he was never able to trace from a crime going back, and he's remembering the fingerprint. He remembers it like a warm summer's day. He he tried to scan the fingerprint using all the best technology. He even asked his friend Ra's al Ghul and Buffy the Vampire Slayer to help him. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she's a vampire hunter and lives in another 2 towns over, and she's got some good tech. Her English teacher. No, her science teacher who's English, or English teacher. The English librarian at her school. Librarian? English librarian, so. That's what I've written.
English teacher.
As I remember that I wrote this, the librarian at her school is quite tech savvy, and she hunts vampires inside. Batman's totally aware of it, he's totally fine with it. And so he went over to hers, and he's like, hey Willow, hey Giles, is it Giles? And Giles is like, yes. He goes, wow, you're really English, aren't you? And he goes, so is Alfred? And he goes, sometimes he skews American and Scottish, but yeah, okay, Alfred's English too. What's that got to do with anything? Well, you point out like it's...
So is Alfred.
He's like, you point out like some big thing that I'm English, but your butler's English. He's like, he's no more my butler, he's basically my dad. He's done everything for me. This isn't good between you and me, Batman said to Giles. This. Points to Giles. What's this? Batman says to Giles, this thing, you and me, it's not really working for me just now. That's all I'm going to say. Giles went white as a sheet. He looked over to Willow, who immediately broke his gaze and refused to make eye contact with him. Like, she wasn't sure what side she was on at this point. Buffy said, cut the shit, Batman, stop scaring my Giles. And he goes, right, just saying, sorry Buffy, just take the piss, Giles. Giles goes, well, good Batman, you've got such a reputation, it'd be scary if you were, somehow in league with the evil of the world and want to kill me. He goes, Jesus mate, the way you put things, you just pissed me off a little bit, it's fine. Anyway, to business. And as Buffy looks away, he just looks at Giles and blows him a really gentle kiss and then winks in a really scary way, like so much scarier than doing that thing with your neck. Giles is fucking white as a sheet. White as a sheet. He looks towards Willow and she's literally looking away the opposite direction, hand in front of her face, so that even Giles can't see her face.
Right.
She's that worried about eye contact.
Fuck.
So anyway, Batman remembered that she had a good fingerprint scanner and thought it didn't work. The reason he wanted to find this particular case was a really peculiar case. Basically, somebody was hunting vampires, but they were just like taking the hook out and throwing them back, and they weren't really helping people in the grand scheme of things. And Buffy couldn't track this guy down. He was like putting her out of business, and Batman didn't like it because there's a lot of wounded vampires running around, and that makes them a little bit angry. Like, they're really rude to people in the street. They don't hold doors. They don't tip. They're just not very nice. So Batman thought back to like his childhood briefly, and it felt like treacle in his memories. So he decided not to go there. It was too complicated and too convoluted. So he used this new scanner to try and track down this guy. He asked Alfred in, because he's like, Alfred, come in here a second. And Alfred's like, what is it? He says, this doesn't look like anything to you. And Alfred said, looks like a fingerprint, sir. He goes, good. Right, you can go now. That's fine, you're satisfied. I'm satisfied. And Alfred goes, do you really think I'm that English, sir? And he goes, Alfred, you amaze me sometimes that you were listening in at that moment. When was that? He goes, no, I'm just a random question. Do you really think I'm very English? He goes, yeah, you are English, aren't you? Sometimes Scottish, sometimes a bit American, depends on which one of you it is. Alfred's like, oh yeah, of course. Can I be the Michael Caine one? He's like, why would you want to be that one? He's too fat to be Alfred. Everyone thought that. He's like, yeah, okay. The old guy from the original ones, he's got to be dead now. So Alfred goes, I'll just be myself then. He goes, who are you? We don't even know who you are at this point, Alfred. You've talked yourself out of existence. Existence! That's what this is. That's why we can't track down this fingerprint. The person doesn't exist. Alfred's like, well, that's quite impossible. Why would he leave a fingerprint? He goes, Alfred, I don't know why people leave shit around. I don't know why anything happens. I've got the fingerprint. He clearly doesn't exist. Why? Because your scanner can't pick him up. Buffy's scanner couldn't pick him up either. Alfred goes, well, she does have a really good scanner. She was like going on about it with Facebook constantly. He goes, I know, it's so good that I've got a Facebook page now as Bruce Wayne, which is totally fine because I'm Bruce Wayne, I'm famous and I'm a celebrity and I'm totally fine to have a Facebook. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy like a Game Boy Advance. And he's like, good, got you. That makes perfect sense. So Batman decides that this person has been busted out of existence somehow, and he's not sure how. So he does what all scientists does. He gets a prism and he shines light on the fingerprint through the prism. And through the prism, all these little lines, these atomic lines that spell out the word, help me, Samantha from Ali Story's been raping me. And he's like, what the fuck does this mean? Samantha from Ali's Story's been raping me. Is it Latin? And Alfred says, it's most certainly Latin, sir. He goes, why would you know Latin? He goes, I'm very well educated. I was in the SAS. He's like, I know, that's what I don't get as well. You're in the SAS forever. You protected the Queen. You fought in World War II. You learnt Latin. You were like a priest for a while or something. I could be totally wrong about that. You did so many things, and you're my butler, and you have been for fucking ages, like since you were a young man, because I was a wee baby boy when you're looking after me. I was a little boy, and you're looking after me. How old are you, Alfred? You could be older than Ra's al Ghul. And Alfred's like, I'm not as old as him. He's like, okay, fine. So this guy was pounded out of existence by that Latin word. Oh no, it's probably not Latin actually. If you think about it, I'm being raped loads and loads by Samantha. There's loads of writing. The atomic lines spit out this whole thing. He goes, is there any way we can track him down? And Alfred goes, well, you're a better scientist than me. What do you think? And he goes, right, yeah, I'll ask myself. Batman, is there any way I can track him down? And Alfred goes, should you ask Buffy? And Batman goes, no, I think we're good for Buffy. I think we're done Buffy. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good. It's okay. He's like, all right, so if you say so. And what about like the Joker and those guys? Batman's like, what about them? He's like, are they doing anything? He goes, no. Can't you see that all behaving tonight? I've been sitting here, been like downloading torrents and stuff. And he's like, Batman, should you be doing that? He goes, oh, come on. He goes, but Batman, like, I don't understand, you're a billionaire and you buy millions of DVDs from Amazon every day. I'm having to fucking put them up, and it's really annoying. It's hundreds of things, and you're downloading what torrents are you downloading? It's like obscure PC games that you can't buy anymore. It's like, why are you doing that? He goes, because there's some things money can't buy. Sure, you have to steal, Alfred. You have to steal what you can't buy. Oh, are you talking about that girl you fancied again? It's like, yes, I am. I'm talking about the girl I fancied. He's like, do you want to keep talking about it? It's like, no, it's not we're not going anywhere with it. Let's just continue back to this fingerprint. So I'm asking, like, oh no, who's the greatest? Mr. Freeze, get him on the phone. He's like, ring, ring, ring. He's like, hello, Batman, this is Mr. Freeze. And Batman goes, oh man, you always know when it's me. So Batman says to Mr. Freeze, I've got this, I put a prism on a fingerprint, and the person the fingerprint belonged to has been pounded out of existence by Samantha from Sex and the City. And he goes, oh god, I've heard about her. She's been around the news, and people have heard about her, and she's stole a TARDIS. And he's like, wow, this could actually all work with Lego Dimensions technically. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, all right. So Mr. Freeze, how do we figure out who it was? He's like, right, okay, tell you what, I'll give you a special ray gun. Fire it at the prison, and you'll be able to speak to the guy who was taken. And Batman goes, what do I say to him? What if I don't like him? What if he doesn't like me? He's like, it doesn't matter. Just ask him what happened. And why did you care so much, Batman? What was this guy's crime in the first place? I said, oh yeah, he was fucking fishing for vampires and then throwing them back. And he's like, is that so serious, Batman? It's like, Batman, there's that school bus that was abducted recently by like that little scar-faced fucking ventriloquist puppy. He's like, no, you mean dummy. He's like, no, Batman, it was a puppy. Remember the ventriloquist puppy that's been on the scene recently, stealing school buses? It's like, what about it? It's like, well, you can investigate that. Come on. This poor guy, he sort of slightly maimed some vampires. Vampires aren't really good people. He goes, doesn't matter, they didn't ask to be slightly maimed. It's like, oh, right, fine. I'm sending the ray gun to you instantly right now via instant Amazon. And he's like, okay, cool. Oh, here it is. God, I love that instant Amazon. He's like, you know, a child dies every time we use that service. He's like, I know, I don't overuse it. All right. It's like, it's the dark arts that powers that delivery service. You do know that, don't you? He's like, I don't use it that much. He's like, you don't use it that much. That Brandon Brothers DVD box set, you got that way. He's like, I really wanted to see it. And he's like, a kid, a fucking child. He goes, I don't know him. I don't know the child. It's probably not even a Gotham child. He's like, you better hope it's not a Gotham child. All right, okay, I'm not going to use this service again. You just fucking used it just to get you off my back. Go away, Batman. Bye, 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 bye. And he hung up on him. That was like, Jesus, Mr. Freeze was pissed off with me. He doesn't want to talk any further. Yeah, and I shouldn't use that service anymore. It is dark arts. But fires a ray gun at the prism, and Xander from Buffy shows up. And he's like, oh, hey, I was nervous in the show, wasn't I? Yeah, oh, who are you? And I was like, I'm Batman. We exist in the same universe. You know who I am. He's like, oh, yeah, hey, Batman, why am I alive? Because she definitely killed me. He's like, who killed you? Samantha from Sex and the City shagged me, like, loads. Actually, for, like, once. She shagged me the one time. Like, she pounded me once. She jumped on me and I was dead instantly. He's like, what kind of creature is this woman? And he goes, doesn't matter. She's in a different dimension. I exist in most dimensions, but not your one, and that's why. What do you want? Like, wow, I didn't think you'd ask me that. He's like, well, I'm dead. I have no real thoughts about the subject. Explain to me where you are right now. And Xander's like, I'm floating, standing it. I can't be bothered explaining it. I feel like I'm in a hurry. Like, what are you in a hurry for? He goes, I don't know. I feel like, oh, come on, move it along, Batman, move it along. He's like, Xander, mate, you're not going anywhere. You're, as far as I can tell, you're in the afterlife or purgatory or something. He's like, I know. Just get to the point. It's like, come on. It's like you're acting like you're addicted to something. He's like, Batman, she can be back any minute. I want to look my best. He's like, I got unfinished business, okay? You fancy Samantha? He's like, oh, I don't know. Can she come in here? I don't know. And Batman's like, I don't enjoy this conversation. Tell you what, why don't I invite Buffy and all them over to see you? And he goes, no, it doesn't matter. I never existed to any of them. They won't know who I am. He's like, so what do you want to do, Xander? And Xander's like, I don't know. Can you turn me off? Just turn me off. Let me go back. Go back where? Just, I don't know, turn me off. It's just shit. This is shit. And Batman goes, well, do you want to get revenge on Samantha? Is there any way I can catch her? And Xander's like, alright, no. And he's like, okay, no. Alright, I'll just smash up this ray gun then. Bye. Psh. He smashes up the ray gun. Alfred comes in with like a cup of hot chocolate and says, Batman, you've done really well tonight. You know that? You've solved the crime. I mean, did you solve the crime? He's like, I never asked him why he did that fishing thing with the vampires. Like, it makes no sense in the context of anything when you think about it. It's like, well, could you get another ray gun? He goes, Mr. Freeze has them, but I'll need to drive all the way over there. Alfred, you won't get it for me. He's like, just use the service. He's like, no, I'm not using this service again. He's like, why not? Go on, it's just one kid. He's like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. People are listening right now. I get the feeling people are listening. Like 8 people on YouTube are listening to this right now, and it's making me very uncomfortable. And Alfred says, so should we just wrap this up now then? He goes, I don't know, it's like the last story of my thing. This is the last story, so it should have a good ending. And Alfred goes, that girl you fancy, it was a Batgirl and she's pregnant. And he goes, well, I didn't have sex with her. And he goes, no, it's Robin's, and you're going to be dead pissed at Robin, and I just thought I'd tell you. At the end. And it ends there with a little cliffhanger. Robin knocked up Batgirl and Batman fancied Batgirl and Batman's pissed off at Robin.
Okay, fair enough, you write your stories.
Yay, you believe me, good.
What do you mean? Why are you like, yeah, you believe me? Should you think, of course I wrote stories.
You didn't seem to believe me at the time.
Well, oh man, that story was really good. That is your best story yet by far.
I'm pumped about that one. Pumped.
You did. I mean,
I was
gonna say, you know, if you ripped anything off, well, not ripped off. If you kind of, if anything was coincidentally very like my story, then it would be suspect. But I think you covered that whole Samantha thing. I think that was kind of obvious. So,
yeah,
you can't have she was going to fuck Xander.
You can't have a story with Xander and Samantha not have her fucking
exactly. So you easily could have predicted that. So
I wasn't surprised at all when I heard you do it, and I don't know you've done it. I'd done it before you. I'd done it first, and then
you'd written it.
You do it.
Ali will write that. So
I had the idea first, and then when I heard you had the idea, I was only a little bit angry that you stole my idea. I wasn't that angry about it. I was only a little bit pissed off that you stole my idea. That's all. The idea I had first that you ripped off from me. I was only a little bit pissed about that. Generally, I was more not pissed than pissed. So, but you enjoyed it. That's good. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh man, it was great.
Do you think I used enough Buffy, enough Batman?
Oh, great mix.
I tried to cover. I like to do a wee roll call, have we?
I know. Batman and Giles' interaction was so funny. I felt bad for Giles.
Yeah, that was funny.
And Willow's reaction is great too. She's like,
no, she's like that.
Very visual. Looking away. Oh, great story, man.
Dialogue was terrible though.
And that is your first series of crossover quests.
In the bag.
All 10 episodes, a complete series. Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3.
Don't forget 4.
I would have done. I was going for 5. I was totally going for 5. Ridiculous.
I saved you there.
Thanks, man.
I'm only a little bit angry that I had to save you there.
Yeah. I ruined because if I don't know way through it.
I'm less angry than I'm not angry. So
yeah. Oh well, but still, a whole series of crossover quests. You can listen to any of the episodes again.
We put them all out weekly. We didn't miss a single week.
Well. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay, well, so far, I mean, no other podcast's ever done that ever in the history of the world.
Never happened.
Even like the podcasts of radio shows are very rarely on, weekly. So that's awesome. We're really pleased that we did that.
And I think the fans will be Puffy fans will be going, oh, I loved it. Xander out of existence in both stories, fantastic. You don't like him.
No one liked him.
And Batman fans. We just like Batman.
Yeah, we covered everything, you know.
It's like, why do you like Batman? We just like any Batman.
It was like playing an Arkham game. Every character was in it. Every single character had an intrinsic part of the story.
Or Lego Dimensions. It was like Lego Dimensions.
It was kind of like, was Doctor Who's in that? Star Wars in that? I don't know if they're going to do
Sex and City Lego Dimensions.
Good point. I thought you have to use Lisa Simpson or something to be. Maybe not Lisa Simpson, but.
So what are we doing next week, Willie?
Nothing.
Just chilling, I guess.
Chilling, yeah.
Oh, man.
Getting on with the rest of our lives, which is plenty of other stuff, so...
But, if you have a crossover you want to hear in Series 2, then tell us about it.
Yeah, we're throwing it open to you guys, so... you've got an idea you want to hear, let us know. We'll consider it.
Any kind of crossover you like? Do you like Fraggle Rock? Do you like the Ferguson Files? Is there a show called the Ferguson Files?
I don't know.
Do we have to make up a show called the Ferguson
Channel
Files?
4
The Fraggle Rock and the
expose
Ferguson
program.
Files. If you like Echo the Dolphin and
I don't know. Dharma and Greg and Donkey Kong.
oh, that's a good one.
Nah, Dharma and Greg's a bit out there.
Dharma and Greg. But yeah, see how much fun it is to come up with crossovers?
Anyone suggest the League of Gentlemen and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Oh, that's a good one.
No, it's not.
It's terrible. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think the stories were both pretty good. I enjoyed yours a great deal, and I quite enjoyed mine for a wee change. It wasn't so bad. Didn't like the ending, I'll be honest.
Alright, we need to sign it for the whole series then.
Okay. What do you mean a sign it?
Just to say like, oh well, come listen, we'll get you next time.
You've been listening to a world where and they did the thing and then they were allowed to do a crossover, even against their will. They did it and it was all funny, and everyone listened on YouTube and then laterally on iTunes when they finally put it on iTunes. Crossover quest, something like that. It could be quite funny.
I might just put that in, what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, literally what I just said there?
Yeah, I think so.
That actual recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to finish it. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.